Alrighty, so I'm just going to go through each of these constructions real quick, and you can pause if you need to catch up or whatever works here. Alright, so first thing, copying a segment or constructing a segment congruent to a given segment. It's not super hard, basically. You just put a point somewhere on your paper, there, and then you take your compass and you adjust it to be the length of your segment that you have. Go on the point you just made, make a little arc, and then you connect your point to anywhere on this arc, and that segment will be the same length as the original segment. Yeah, and that's it. All right, next one. Is copying an angle. So we are just going to construct an angle congruent to this one. So first step is you just draw a line segment to be the side of your angle. It doesn't really matter if it's facing the same direction as this one. You can do it however. So that. All right. And then you're going to take your compass and you're going to place the center of your compass on the vertex of the angle you're trying to copy. And then you're just going to make an arc that crosses both sides. It does not matter what the radius of the compass is, as long as it will cross both sides of your angle, then you are good to go. So you've got this arc. And now you're going to make another arc that matches this one on the line you just drew. So starting from your endpoint there, just make another arc. So don't change the distance between this step and this step. All right, and then last thing you do is you just take your compass and adjust it so it is the distance between where these two intersection points are. And then you're going to go to the point where your arc intersects your line here. Make another arc. And then right here where those arcs intersect is where you're going to draw the other side of your angle there. Just like that. And that's it. All right, next one. Bisect an angle. Okay, so you are going to take your compass and put it on the vertex of the angle. And again, when you're doing this, we're going to make an arc that crosses, and it does not matter what the radius is. So there's an arc there. And then basically we're going to make two more arcs from each of these points of intersection. You can leave the compass the same length, or you can make it a little bit bigger. Doesn't really matter. I'll just leave mine the same. See what happens. So make an arc here. Then go to the other point and make an arc. And then last step is just to draw a line through your vertex and the point where those two intersect. And then you have bisected that angle. So it should cut it into two equal pieces right there. All right, next one. Bisect a segment or construct the perpendicular bisector. I mean, they are the same thing. All right, so you're going to put your compass center on one end, and then you're going to adjust the length so it's just somewhere past halfway. It doesn't really matter how far as long as it's past the halfway point. And then you're going to make an arc above and below your line. And then you're just going to keep the radius the same and go to the other endpoint, make an arc above and below just like you did before. And then last step is to just draw a line through where these intersect. All right, and there you go. And supposedly, if we've done it correctly, that should be 90 degrees, and each of these should be the same length on either side. All right, constructing a line perpendicular at a point on the line. So first thing you're going to do is just put your compass on the point that you're trying to go through, and then it doesn't matter what radius you do, but you're just going to make a mark on either side, and if you really want to make a full circle, that's fine, but you don't need to. So you've got a mark on either side, and then you're going to put the compass center on one of them, and then again, like before, this needs to be somewhere past halfway for this to work, because otherwise your arcs won't cross. So make an arc, and you can do above or below, it doesn't matter, but you don't really need to do both. So I'll just go above and then go to the other end and make an arc. And then you just draw your line through that crossing point and through the point you were trying to go through here. Just like that. And that is it. And that should be a 90-degree angle. All right. Okay, perpendicular through a point not on the line. Really, it's the same, excuse me, same process as the other one. So put your compass on this. The only difference is you will need to make sure this is somewhere past the line, otherwise it's not going to cross your line. So you put your compass on that point, and then just make arcs that cross your line in two places, and then just like before, so you're going to go to where those intersect, and make an arc from one, and again, this time you can do it above or below, it doesn't really matter. Make another arc from the other side without changing the distance, and then you're just going to draw your line through the point you were given and the intersection of those two arcs. Just like that. So that should be perpendicular to this line here. All right. Okay, going parallel through a point that is not on this line. Or basically constructing a line parallel to this line that we're given that goes through a given point. So first thing you have to do is just make a line that goes through the point you're trying to go through and crosses your given line. And it does not matter the angle at which this intersects your line. So whatever is going to work here. All right. Okay, there we go. And now, essentially, we're just going to go through the steps to copy an angle. So we're basically just copying this angle here and making this the vertex of the angle. So we're going to take this and put it where those cross. And you're going to make an arc that goes through both lines here. And again, does not matter what radius you choose for this. And then without changing what your compass was set at, you're going to go to the point you're trying to go through. And you're going to make another arc that matches the original. All right, and now you're going to take this distance, adjust your compass to be the distance between those two points here. And then you're going to go to where those arcs, where that arc crosses your line there, and you're going to make another little arc. And then final step is you are just going to draw your line through that point and where your arcs intersect there. And there you go. All right, next one. Inscribing a square. So we're going to construct a square inside of the circle. So first step is to draw a diameter, and it does not matter which point on the end you choose to draw it through or which direction your diameter goes. So you just need to use your straight edge, and it should go through a point on the end of your circle and through the center point all the way across to the other end. And it doesn't matter if you go outside the circle, that's fine. All right. So now I'm going to bisect this diameter I just drew. So go take your compass and just make sure, so my center point was there, you may not be able to see it super well. So just make sure, again, somewhere longer than halfway. So somewhere past the center point. Make an arc above and below, and then just go to the other side and do the same thing here. Arc and arc. All right, and now we draw a line through this here. So it should supposedly go through the center of the circle that you had as well, if it's all worked out nicely. All right, so something like that. And then last step here is to actually just make our square by connecting these 4 outer points here. So just use your straight edge to connect these. And there you go. You've now inscribed a square inside of a circle. Next one, we are going to inscribe a regular hexagon here. So I'm going to make my center a little bit. Nope, never mind. Okay, so to start, you're just going to pick some point on your circle, wherever you want to start this. There. And you're going to set your compass radius to be the same as the radius of the circle. So adjust it so it's distance from center to the outside here. And now that we've got that adjusted, you are just going to put your center on any point, or the point you chose on the outside of your circle. And you're going to go ahead and make a mark that crosses your circle. Doesn't matter if you go clockwise or counterclockwise. Then you're going to go to that mark you just made without changing your compass and make another mark. And we're just going to go all the way around the circle here. All right, and then we should have 6 total. So you don't need to make a 6th mark. It should take you back to where you started, basically. So then we're just going to make our hexagon now by just connecting these points where these arcs intersect your circle, the markings we made. Oops. All right, and there you go. Regular hexagon. All right, so inscribing an equilateral triangle. The way I'm going to do this, it actually is basically the same as the hexagon. So markings start the same way. So just pick a point anywhere on your circle. I'll go over here to be different. And then we adjust the radius to make sure it is the radius of your circle. Yep. And then we're just going to go around and make those same marks. So make a mark that crosses, and go to that mark you just made, make another one, and go all the way around the circle here. Okay, and then I've got my starting point there. All right, so now we're just going to make our triangle. So the only difference between this and the hexagon is instead of connecting each point, you're going to just skip one. So we're basically just connecting 3 of them. And this will make an equilateral triangle. Ta-da! There you go. And that's about it. So, goodbye.